What's going on, y'all? This is John with Facemask Fantasy, and Rob Gronkowski has just retired. This one's a shocker, as we've long speculated that Gronk would be a shoo-in to return as the tight end one for what could be Tom Brady's last season in the NFL. He hangs it up with 9,236 receiving yards, 92 receiving touchdowns, and a dominant 11-season Hall of Fame level career. He is one of the best pure football players I've ever seen, and helped usher in a new age in tight end production in the early to mid 2010s. Now, Adam Schefter reports that, and I quote, "In reaction to Rob Gronkowski's news, his agent Drew Rosenhaus texts, 'It would not be a surprise to me if Tom Brady calls him during the season to come back and Rob answers the call. This is just my opinion, but I wouldn't be surprised if Rob comes back during the season or next season," end quote. Now, as somebody who has already retired once, it wouldn't surprise me to see him step up to the plate come playoff time and give Tom Brady back the most reliable target he's ever known for his last shot at a Super Bowl. But as of right now, Gronk isn't going to be playing for the Bucs in 2022. The Bucs may have known more than the rest of the general public, as they drafted two tight ends in the draft this past April in Cade Otton, who they drafted with pick 106th in the 4th round, and Ko Kieft, who they drafted with pick 217 in the 6th round. We should not be expecting either to make an immediate impact for the Bucs, as rookie tight ends rarely produce for fantasy before their 3rd season in the league. And with the team already short Chris Godwin for the beginning of the year, Gronk's retirement opens up a ton of high-value targets for the likes of Russell Gage and Cameron Brate. Gage has been one of the most highly touted sleepers of the offseason since he was signed in free agency, coming off a very productive year for the Falcons, in which he caught 66 of 94 balls for 770 yards and 4 touchdowns as a near every down player. He specifically blew up down the stretch last season after the loss of Calvin Ridley, as from weeks 10 to week 17, he was the wide receiver 14 in half PPR formats, just behind new teammate Mike Evans, and just ahead of rookie record breaker Jalen Waddle. And we think it's a very good possibility that Gage could continue to hold high-end wide receiver 2 value until Godwin comes back into the fold. Now, one of Scotty Miller, Brashad Perryman, Cyril Grayson, Jalen Darden, or Tyler Johnson could also contribute to fill in for Gronk's absence, but I'd put money on the main beneficiaries being the incumbent tight end in Cameron Brate and wide receiver addition Russell Gage. Speaking of Cameron Brate, don't sleep on this dude. In 2016, he was the tight end 4 in standard formats and the tight end 7 in PPR formats. And in 2017, he was the tight end 8 in standard leagues and the tight end 10 in PPR formats. And this before the emergence of O.J. Howard, who just left for the Buffalo Bills this past offseason. Now, if you've been paying attention to this channel, you know Gronk, Tunyon, Mo Alley Cox, and a few other late-round tight ends have been a target of mine in redraft and in any dynasty leagues that I'm a contender in, as cheap tight end options who should outproduce their ADPs in redraft or the cost that they were acquired at in dynasty by a large margin this year. With Gronk's retirement, Brate is now one of those guys. Now, if you have Cameron Brate in dynasty and you are not a contender, now is definitely the time to sell. But if you are a contender, I wouldn't mind you putting in an offer for Brate, because now with Gronk gone, he has as much touchdown upside as any other tight end in the league. But what do you think about this surprise news? Who do you think is the biggest beneficiary from the absence of Rob Gronkowski moving forward? Put your thoughts in the comments section below, or better yet, tune into one of our weekly live streams. We have a live stream every Tuesday and Thursday at 6 p.m. EST, so come through, drop your question in the chat, and we can have a conversation about it in real time. But my name is John, and this is Facemask Fantasy. Thank you for listening and have a great day.